Another game where Liverpool decide that they want to win and ruin my weekend because my team is going to lose. Please do smash the likes for some tears and some honesty and some everything else that you decide that you like. Where to even start? Where to even start with this game? I think a lot of people will say along the lines of, "Oh, well, Crystal Palace are not even that good of a team. They've got 3 points this season," but at the same time, it doesn't always work like that, unfortunately. Um, for me, Liverpool were just the much better side, and this Oliver Glasner, Glizzy Glazer, is just not maybe that great of a manager, or Crystal Palace might have just faced too many difficult teams for their liking, but they can't seem to get anything over the line. Can't seem to finish their dinner. You know, they seem defensive moments. They look like they're well, a lot of the times it's avoidable. Even against Everton, avoidable goals. You know, even United dominated at Palace. So it's not that I'm trying to disown Liverpool's performance because it was really managed correctly by Slot, and can't really say much else about that, really, isn't it? Like I think there's a lot of plaudits you can put along the side for Slot. You know, he rotated 4 players as well. I think a couple of them might have been dropped. To be fair, I thought Sabozlai did get dropped for this game. He has been critical of him, and he wants his attacking mid to do more. Curtis Jones coming into the fold, getting some minutes, getting some familiarity within the team, which is good signs. To be fair, it goes to show that with Slot, even though there's a 2 week break coming up, he's managing minutes and he's doing quite well. So on that notice, Liverpool, good 3 points, and you're still top of the league, and you're going to remain there for the break. Probably want to sort of look at it in the first half, right? And I've been very critical of this player. And for me, he was one of the man of the matches overall. The clean sheet again, you can't look at it as it's like Liverpool play crap teams and they're not conceding as many chances because this, that, and the other. You can't overlook the clean sheets. They conceded minimal amounts of goals. And for me, the two easy man in the matches, and it's the one that actually got the assist today. It's from the Dutch brothers. Anyways, you got Cody Gakpo. I'm not even going to call him Gakpo anymore. And then there's Virgil van Dijk, who was an absolute monster. I thought Gakpo was sensational. You know, he came into the fold. You know, it's not easy to fill in Luis Diaz's shoes at the moment, considering he's off to a blinding start. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's got more than 5 goals in the Premier League at the moment. I think, or he might be sitting on that, maybe a couple assists. So Luis Diaz is his career at the moment at Liverpool for this season alone, anyways, is off to a flying start. But Cody Gakpo, every time he's got on, you know, there's been some. You could say his time has been like there's been minuscule amounts of minutes. He's came on in moments and he's scored. You know, whether it's you're looking at the Champions League or some of these games, even Gakpo's really, really on a high right now, and he is making he's giving Luis Diaz a run for his money because every time the ball was fizzed into him, he would hold it up, he would pass it off. There was one pass he made a diag to, I believe it might have been Salah, and Salah kept the ball on. And on my life, I said, "Wow, was that Trent?" Trent was just there with Salah making an overlap. I was thinking, "Oh my word, this player, like honestly, is coming into his own." And I could sit here all day creaming over Van Dijk, you know, how great he is, how much of a monster he is, looking like the best centre back in the world at the moment, which he is, to be fair. I could be doing all that, but then I think I'll be taken away from some of these other players. You know, Gravenberch, sensational once again, dropping an easy 7.5, solid 8 out of 10. Honestly, the midfield could not do anything. This guy was dictating play. So call that the three Dutch musketeers. So they were all great. But with Cody Gakpo, that assist was sublime. Great link up with Simicast. I think that's something to look at as well with that link up. I think there could be a good partnership there. Robbo links up with Luis Diaz quite well. It's like Diaz has grown into a man. For me, you know, he's realised the size he is, you know, the build he's got, and he's using that to his advantage. You know, even Munoz in this first half couldn't handle him, ended up getting a hammy injury. Klein comes on, couldn't handle Gakpo, goes to the other side. Some may say because Tyreek Mitchell was injured. I don't care. So on that notice, Cody Gakpo was, for me, the man of the match of that game. Then in coming in second because of the clean sheet and what he had to deal with, Van Dijk. There was moments where Crystal Palace had a moment to score, but that happens in every single match. So for me, again, Van Dijk didn't have to deal with ultimately loads. So that's why I give it to Gakpo. There was a bit of a fade from Liverpool in the second half, around the 65th minute. But that's normal in a game because you could say for 60 minutes of those 65 minutes, obviously credit for the first five, Palace looked like they were on game and on job. For me, Liverpool were in total control. And obviously, Palace had their moments after Mateta came on. And yeah, they tried. They gave it something. Eze, overrated. I'm sorry. It's not from one game. I've just said it for a long, long time. Doesn't mean he's not good. I just don't think he's that good in it. Didn't step up today for when his team needed him in a couple moments as well. It's unfortunate for Alisson's injury. But if we're going to go off the first half, that pivot in the middle of the midfield, Gravenberch and McAllister on live is actually not spoken about enough. I don't think, anyways. And I've tried to bring it some recognition on the channel a little bit, and I think Mons has as well. But that pivot really gets overlooked. Slot is getting the best out of these players at the moment, and it doesn't look like it's going to be faltering anytime soon, unfortunately. But for me, that them two just know what they're doing. Gravenberch is like a deep line playmaker, and then when you've got McAllister, when he goes a bit further up the pitch, because sometimes he does drop deep, he's been used as more like an advanced playmaker in the 8 role, and it's genius because the build up for Liverpool is excelling in all areas. They couldn't get close to them. They when they even tried to press. Of course, they win the back at times, but misplacing passes, and they keep intercepting the ball, winning the ball back. Like these things get overlooked with McAllister and also Gravenberch. And you know what? Gravy Boat is the name. It's unfortunate McAllister had to come off though, because you know what? For me, I was like, oh, hold on, Crystal Palace, they might actually have a chance. So Bosley comes on, doesn't fill the role exactly, but does enough, right? Curtis Jones' work rate today won't get looked at today. Things that go missing, I think the eye doesn't get noticed with a few of these things. you know, there you go. And also, I've got some constructive criticisms as well with Diogo Jota. We got told Diogo Jota's finishing is one of the best finishes at Liverpool that they've had in Premier League history. Anyways, I'm not going to go beyond before that. I wouldn't even know that, but I remember that whole thing came up. But to say this is why I don't really crash on Darwin Núñez. If Darwin Núñez was to miss those chances, the fan base would be up and raw and the rivals would be laughing. But because it's Diogo Jota and he looks better on the eye, and also that he's clinical in more moments than Núñez, which is fair enough, then he doesn't really get the critical the critiques coming out in full force. So once again, if that was Núñez, I think he buries one of those, and this is why you can't get onto some players too much. Not for me, anyways, because there you go. That's just how football works. I think Núñez deserves some minutes today. I think he could have made a big difference when they thought they could press Palace. They needed someone that could counter press. I thought Núñez could have came on in those moments and provided some damage. But Diogo Jota nearly made it to the point where Liverpool didn't walk away from Selhurst Park with all 3 points. But Liverpool overall were good. Van Dijk, Trent, Konate, and Tsimikas coming in as well. Tsimikas is another player that's really improving under Slot. And Robertson, obviously, is reaching some heights that obviously we ain't seen in a couple years. But Slot, the way he's managed the games plural, again, it's good man management, man. It's a good sign. He's taking this team in a good direction, and it pains me to say, of course, because you are my rivals. But I can't talk football too shamelessly when when I'm talking about a game properly, and I do the same thing for other clubs. I keep saying so. The Glizzy Glaze shall continue. But yeah, it was a good win, and they absolutely suffocated Crystal Palace, and that's fair enough to say. I don't know who you lot's man of the match were, but I would like for you to tell me in the comments who you thought were the standouts. It's unfortunate again. I said it earlier as well. Alisson's injury, it is a hammy. He tweaked it straight away, and that's a minimum 3 to 4 weeks, and max to 6 weeks out. Luckily, there is a bit of a break, so that limitizes the limitations. Obviously, the injury time, and obviously Kelleher's out as well. It's funny because he just done an interview with Sky Sports as well, especially talking about his time and how much he wants to play, and filling in for Alisson's shoes of last season. But then this new kid on the block, even if he's a kid, don't know who he is, but we'll see what he's got, if he's mustard or not. But yeah, Van Dijk got the man of the match by the commentators. Whether it's rightfully so, it doesn't really matter. But the Dutch Musketeers are really providing a good core for Liverpool at the moment. And even though one of them is not exactly a regular, he might deserve to be called a regular at some point. But do smash the like button. Top of the league, unfortunately. I hate you lot. And I need you lot to lose because I don't think I've had a successful hate along yet. Maybe that changes at 3 o'clock. So yeah, man. Enjoy your weekends.